What's up, champions? It's Miss Revels. We're going to be creating a fun piece of artwork today using the element of art, line. You're going to need a piece of white paper and a pencil. On that paper, write your name. Flip your paper over so your name is on the back. I'm going to be using some really cool oil pastels to create my artwork. If you don't have oil pastels, you can use crayons just as well. Crayons will work just as well for this project as oil pastels. Go ahead and gather your materials in front of you and make sure your paper is facing vertically. Find a red crayon or a red oil pastel. At the top of your paper, on one side of the paper, start drawing a straight red line from one side all the way to the other. Don't stop in the middle. Keep on going until you reach the edge of the paper. I thickened my line up a little bit, so I just kind of colored on top to make my line nice and dark. You want to make sure your line is nice and thick and dark because later we're going to do something really cool with paint. The next line you're going to draw is an orange zigzag line. Find your orange and draw a zigzag line. You want to go down a little bit from your first line and then draw your zigzag. So I moved down my paper about an inch or two and then drew my zigzag line. A zigzag goes up and then down and then back up and back down. Kind of looks like a mountain. Again, I'm thickening up those lines to make it nice and dark. The next line you're going to draw, you're going to need yellow. So find your yellow crayon or your yellow oil pastel. Then you're going to start a little bit further down from your zigzag line and draw a yellow wavy line. Go from one side all the way to the other. Go back over that line to make sure it's nice and dark. Once you've drawn your wavy line, the next color you need is green. So find your green crayon or your green oil pastel. We're going to draw a loopy line. So go down a little bit further on your page, start at the left side and draw a loopy line all the way across your page. My loopy line goes down, my loops point down, but your loops could point upwards if you want. Remember, you never have to create your artwork that looks just like Miss Rebels. You're just following along and you can make your own type of lines. As long as you're using the same colors as me, I'm okay with it. We're going to go all the way across the page, making sure those lines are nice and dark. The next color you're going to need is blue. So find a blue crayon or a blue oil pastel. Move down a little bit further from your green line. Start at the left side of your page and draw a dotted line. You could use really big dots, you could use really tiny dots, or medium-sized dots, whatever size dots fills your heart with joy. That's the kind of dotted line you are going to draw all the way across your page. The last line you're going to draw is a purple dashed line. A dashed line is just like a line made out of rectangles. So I'm going to draw some skinny rectangles in a line from the left side of my page all the way over to my right. Don't forget to move down and try to fill up your whole sheet of paper with all 6 different types of lines. Color in your lines nice and dark because we are about to do something really fun with paint. Alright, champions, next thing you're going to need is some watercolor paint. If you don't have watercolor paint in a palette like that, Go to the video pages and additional resources, and I've got some videos on how you can make your own watercolor paint at home. The first step is to take your paintbrush, and Mr. Paintbrush has to go to work for us with a good hair day. You gotta dip his hair into the water, swirl him around and get his hair wet. Glide off the edge, no tap dancing. Dip in the water, glide slowly off the edge. That's gonna make sure he has a good hair day. Next thing you're going to do is wake up your paint. So choose whatever color you're going to use and swirl Mr. Paintbrush in your paint. You can just wiggle him right on top of the paint to wake up your paint. You do not need to dig your paintbrush. No, no, no. Oh, Miss Rebels, don't dig your paintbrush. Swirl right on top. That's good craftsmanship. Once your paintbrush has lots of hair dye in his hair, go right over the top of the first line you created. You don't have to use the same colors as Miss Rebels. Choose your own colors. If I want to change colors on my brushes, I've got to go back into the water to clean out that hair dye. So I'm swirling in the water, gliding off the edge. I gotta wake up my next color. I'm gonna wiggle and giggle right across the top of that palette. No digging, no gouging, nice good craftsmanship. Once I have some pink hair dye, I'm gonna go right over the top of my next line. And because we used oil pastels or crayons, the watercolor is gonna push back again, is gonna soak into the paper, and the crayon and the oil pastel is gonna push back against that water, creating what we call a watercolor resist. So cool. I'm gonna keep going and adding a bunch of different colors to my paper. Remember, always keep a good hair day on Mr. Paintbrush or he will not go to work for us. No tap dancing when you bring your paintbrush out of the water, and make sure you cover up the whole line that you drew, even down a little bit past your line. You can put your colors right next to each other, but let's not try to mix them this time. Remember to wash your brush every time you change colors as well. That's going to keep your paint nice and happy. If you don't have watercolor paint at home like this, not a problem. Go to the additional resources tab, and Miss Rebels has uploaded some videos on how to create your own watercolor paint at home. Alright guys, I hope you had fun creating with me today. Make sure you take lots of pictures of your artwork. Keep on creating during this distance learning time. See you in the next video.